Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So I have been getting several of these rank 4 champion showcases. There are actually a couple of more that are very interesting coming up as well, and you guys seem to enjoy them quite a bit. So this time around we need to say a huge thank you to Lieto for the Venompool showcase. Now Venompool is one of the champions that has definitely become a lot of people's favorite after his buff. And again, I do also myself genuinely really like and enjoy the champion. Now, unfortunately, my 6-star is unduped and still currently he's at rank 2. And if there is, in a generic average fight, kind of like one annoying thing that I personally find myself not being the biggest fan of is that ramp up, but that is not the biggest deal breaker, especially because in any fights where you get to deal with opponents having buffs, or where you get to use Venompool's immunities against tech champions, you can ramp up very, very quickly. So that is not necessarily as big of an issue as it initially sounds. But here we're going to see a rank 4 proper Venompool gameplay by someone obviously who knows, understands, and loves the champion enough to take him to rank 4, doing a better job than likely I could if I tried to showcase Venompool. And the base idea of Venompool, if you do not know, is fairly simple. So you do kind of like gather hits and get these charges over time, or every time you strike the opponent, or every time you get struck by opponent or the block. And then you can gain up to 5 different buffs. And then once you have all the 5 buffs, then you start getting furies. And the more aggressive you are, the more furies you can have. And then with level 2, if you can either double up or you can gain power gain. But the key is kind of to have several of these furies up, drop your heavy attack to get significant damage increase to your bleed or degeneration debuffs, and then throw a big special attack that will inflict bleed, because those damage over time numbers on Venompool are definitely quite underestimated. But here we are. So first off, we're going to be starting with Labyrinth of Legends, and this is going to be quite a quick takedown, I have a feeling. 7 Fury buffs active, and he's not letting go of the pace of this fight. Now, here somewhere at some point, he does need to throw a heavy attack if he plans on using a special attack. But we can see him going up with, 9 Furies here already. So he's hitting very solid, like 13, 14k medium crits with 10 Furies. So he's going for the heavy attack to get that increase on his damage over time. He has 50k crit on his special 2, and that level 2 obviously does inflict significant amount of bleed damage. Now, unfortunately, he did not get to complete the Venompool's dance there. If he had done that, then he would have gotten duplicates of all of his unique Venompool buffs that include, increase in power gain, burst damage every time you strike the opponent, energize for more power, malice to kind of make your furies more potent, and all that other good stuff. We can see that bleed is sticking there for 8k. It's absolutely no joke. And there's definitely 16k mediums as well. So there is a lot of damage across the board, be that damage over time or be that just on your basic hits. Again, 50k crit. Unfortunately, against Starlord, does not feel the need to let him finish the dance, but still, as he points there out, 15k per tick bleed damage means 30,000 damage every second. There he did run in that special one, but he did drop another wonderful level 2 again, and that Starlord is absolutely melting away. I want to see where he is going to finish out. He's going to go for another level 2 that did not crit, and he did not have the heavy buff active, so the bleed is not quite as potent as it could have been. But the final stats of the fight here are going to be, and I need to make sure, maybe I need to pause for this. Come on, let's see the final stats. Do we have the detailed screen? We didn't get to see final stats. I wanted to see how many hits it was. Damn you. But okay, 7.3 Penny Parker. So, as a lot of you also know, that Penny Parker is obviously a very tricky defender, and Venompool, in fact, is one of the better options against Penny Parker, just because he cannot get power drained by her. That means whenever that auto block does trigger, then you're safe. You don't take any damage, because you could end up taking quite substantial amount of damage. As he added comment here, when Venompool is immune to tech champions, power drain, burn, and games buffs quicker, which is absolutely amazing. Also, one thing that I did not like what they changed with Venompool's level 1 is that he can regenerate now only on eating up armor buffs. So you can still eat up buffs and benefit by from that by increasing your meter by 50 and getting buffs quicker. But it's only the armor of buffs that are going to give you those regens back. And those regens are quite potent and definitely useful. In any matchup where opponent does get, reasonable amount of armor ups, you can very easily go from, very low amount of health to absolutely full. I also know that Venompool is genuinely one of the better options for plenty of people who do map 8 for several of the buff lanes, and then you can also deal with Penny Parker boss quite effectively there. So you can see here Venompool is absolutely not letting go of that Penny, and there is like a bleed that's sticking for over K. You have 7 Furies, and again, no power burn damage, and finishing the fight off with a very solid 98%. Now, next up, Civil Warfare and Return Policy. Now, this Civil Warfare is going to be quite stupid. Now, he selected Clintar buff with his pre-fight ability. His pre-fight does come from his Awakened ability. It does not guarantee you to be starting with the buff that you select, but it gives it significantly higher chance to proc early on, and it increases the potency. But they do gain armor ups every time they are hit, and we know what that means. It means that level 1 is going to eat a ton of armor ups, and then you're going to be getting regens, and you're going to be getting your own buffs quicker. Now he does convert those armor ups into Furies after throwing special attack, but here we go. We can see that obviously Venompool also, just like Venom, can prevent evade from Spider-Verse champions. And Venompool just goes on an absolute steamroll on this lane because, yeah, every time you throw level 1, you're going to be getting multiples of regeneration buffs. You're going to be getting all of your buffs super quick, which is going to let you, again, have a ton of Furies active pretty much at all times. And it's just happy days. You can take as much block damage as you want here as well. You don't need to worry about those Furies. You can see at this point, in this short 66 hit fight, he already has like 10 Furies active. So as I mentioned, Venompool definitely is a ramp up champion, but if you can go up against an opponent that has plenty of buffs in their kit, then obviously the ramp up becomes significantly shorter, significantly easier, and you have a lot less to worry about. And I would actually want to see like a very long fight, like, Labyrinth or Abyss length fight against a buff heavy champion. I don't know, maybe Howard the Duck or something like that, because you would get filthy amount of those buffs and Furies actives at all times, basically, just by eating up opponents' buffs. But here we can see again, 33 hits, you have all 5 Venompool's unique buffs active, and you have your Furies, and you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Furies here. Why not? Go for 6. Go for all of them. And without a doubt, as soon as he reaches another level 1, that's going to add another couple of Furies there. So he's going to go from 6 to 7 to 8 to 9. And there we are. He has like 9 Furies inside of 60 hits. And he's already hitting like an absolute monster, and obviously keeping himself topped up at all times here. It's quite wonderful to see. Not gonna lie, 13 Furies as well by the end of the fight. Ticking Time Bomb, Parry Vulnerability, and Explosive Personality. So let's see how he does on this lane. I do recall not wanting to do this lane per nodes and just kind of playing without parry, basically. That was kind of my solution. I just brought in like Ghost and Kitty for this lane. But we'll see what he does here. So every time you parry, you get that ticking time bomb charge, and then you need strike opponent's block to get rid of them. And with Explosive Personality, obviously, you need to be careful not to do it too often. But Nullify, but Venompool's level 1 obviously takes care of Explosive Personality's armor ups, and that's perfect. And you can see that he gets to ramp up quicker, gets to have an increased damage with the stun vulnerability and that parry node, and he can basically ignore all the negatives. So yeah, actually, I probably should have thought of this when I was doing the lane. I just decided to play, around all of the nodes in this lane and not mess with them. But Venompool does actually answer all of the problems that this lane presents quite perfectly. So it's a very good spot, very good shout. And that is always why it is important to listen and check out other summoners, because, you know, we each have our own preferences and we each always try to make our favorite champions fit the nodes. And, you know, I would have never thought about using Venompool here, or Venom potentially also would have worked. You know, the node combination to me kind of just seemed quite annoying, and I figured if I can work around it with Kitty Pryde, with Ghost, not bother with it too much, and that's what I'm going to do. But kind of like on that note, this might have been easier to do. And this will be better and easier option for some of you. I kind of wish that I knew that before I made my guide, to be honest. I would have added this in my guide as well. Here he is going up against Hyperion, obviously able to nullify Hyperion's power gain and whatever armor ups he seems to be getting there. That again lets him ramp up significantly quicker. And that's the thing about Venompool, that if you want to use him in short form content, he kind of acts like a pseudo mystic champion, even in a sense, where you do want opponent have buffs. Because if they do not have buffs and you cannot push your ramp up speed higher up, then, you know, he will take longer. But if opponents do have buffs, then, you know, you get significant benefit there. Here's going to be fight against Hulkbuster, Paradox buff potency. And obviously, as we can hear per name, with Paradox buff potency, obviously Venompool is going to be benefiting from it quite highly, because he does have a ton of different buffs and a whole bunch of fury, so he's going to be getting more power, he's going to be dealing more burst damage, he is going to be doing pretty much everything better thanks to the Paradox buff potency lane. And here he gets power gain, and that power gain we can see is significantly more potent, so you can basically just go from level 2s to level 2s at any given point. So here at this point, I think he needs to trigger Dex, because he can't be inflicting more debuffs unless he wants to explode himself. Now he's going to go for level 3. Why not? Seems like quite a decent idea. That power gain still gave him nearly a bar of power. Let's say I did this on purpose to showcase the healing later. That this is the warning that I was giving, that he had to trigger the Dex a few times. And this was the cost he paid. He paid more than half of his health due to that. But now he has to show us that healing when he goes in the next fight. So he starts the fight 7 fight few lanes later. Okay, fine. So he starts the fight at 32% health. And again, Black Panther Civil War is a champion that does proc plenty of armor ups. And thanks to the buff potency, this is a quite effective way how to get back to full health, isn't it? Because that healing, he had 6 paradox charges when he triggered it. And with 6 paradox charges, he get like 180% increase in potency, something like that. So, you know, that was very effective. So he gets tagged here again, but healing pretty much immediately just counters, you know, any damage he did take from that Black Panther. That was quite funny. I enjoyed that. When Act 7 opponent is, you know, actively hitting you in face, but your healing is too strong that you don't even really feel it. I kind of wish he gets hit here more on purpose, just to see that healing overpower any damage Black Panther can do. That was quite a fun showcase, if you ask me. So getting hit at this point might be a bit risky because of those 74 charges there, but let's see how he finishes off the fight. So he has like, what, 6 furies here, couple of regens, why not? And that Black Panther is just bleeding out for like 2k. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And this has been a quite exciting showcase so far. So we have another few minutes, so probably a couple more fights. And this is going to be against Ultron, one-armed bandit and return policy. 6,033. 600. Anyways, ton of health. Over 500,000 health. This Ultron, I do recall being quite annoying as well. Well, not necessarily annoying, that evade is what annoyed me, really. Everything else was fine. To demonstrate the sustainability, of course. He's giving his notes, and every time there is a note, or every other time there is a note, every mess up is maybe on purpose. Okay, he does need to eat a couple of those armor ups to get that regen going. And with that, obviously, that region is quite potent indeed. You know, there's no question about it. Those region, given how easy it is to proc it in the right matchups, definitely is quite potent there. So he goes for another region there. So he's going to proc one more here. Wonderful. He's going to, and what is it? 4 armor ups that he's eaten. And he's already at 58% and, you know, looks in much of a better shape than he was before. Here he's going to eat the rest of the buffs to gain, you know, his own buffs quicker. So the cool thing about Venompool is obviously that you can inflict degeneration against robots because they are bleed immune. So that is quite sweet. And gets another region. And, well, chances are that by end of the fight, he's going to be back up to full health. So yeah, in any matchup where you do have opponent that has access to armor ups, Venompool is definitely extremely sustainable champion. So again, he knocked him down probably on purpose here just to make him proc that armor up so he can eat it up again. And, you know, trigger more regions and eat more buffs, thus get more furies and re-trigger that heal. So Ultron is down to 15% and Venompool, ooh, he ate that level 1. Ate that level 1 straight to the face. But that's the point of healing, I suppose. You see, kids, if he had not healed, he'd been dead. He healed, so he survived. And now the fight is going to be pretty much over. And that is also the end of the showcase. So that is a rank 4 Venompool. Definitely one of the more unique rank ups. Because typically when you look at Cosmic Class rank ups, you know, it's the Hercules, it's the CGR probably that's going to end up getting ranked. Hyperion is something that I showcased. But it has been my pleasure to showcase a rank 4 Venompool for you. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the good buttons. And I will catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the